What's up, YouTubers? This is your boy Big Metroid Fan 12 coming to you with another video game review. And this time I'm reviewing Robocop vs. Terminator. And this game was released for the Super Nintendo, Nintendo Game Boy, Sega Genesis, Sega Game Gear, and the Sega Master System. Now, the Genesis version was made by Version Game USA. SMS Software made the Sega Master System version and the Sega Game Gear version, and Interplay pretty much made the Super Nintendo version. Now the games are based off of the Robocop and Terminator movie franchises, and the Genesis version is pretty much based off of the four-part comic book series Robocop versus Terminator, while the other versions are loosely based off of those comic book series. And for this review, I will pretty much talk about the Super Nintendo version, mainly because the Super Nintendo version and Sega Genesis version have different storylines to it. In the plot for the Super Nintendo version, that John Connor, his resistance pretty much was in the losing war against Skynet, and they end up finding out that OCP, which made Robocop, was a precursor to Skynet, so they sent Flo to take out Robocop. And of course, Skynet found out about it and sent some Terminators to take Flo out. But at some point, Flo and Robocop pretty much worked together, you know what I'm saying, to take out Skynet. Now through the course of the game, Robocop pretty much fights enemies from OCP, the Terminators, and other enemies from like Skynet. And there's like 16 stages in the Super Nintendo version of Robocop versus Terminator. And they range from fighting on the streets of Detroit to infiltrating Skynet. And you pretty much start off with your handgun, which is pretty much the type of handgun Robocop used in the movie trilogy franchise and everything. And you will get like other like weapons throughout the game, like the spike there or rocket gun, which is pretty much a futuristic SMG, grenade launcher, bazooka, flame gun, and a missile launcher. And like the enemies you will fight are pretty much street punks, Ed 209s, and Terminators and stuff like that. And there's more enemies that's in the game that I, of course, didn't mention. Well, it's to me, as far as the weapons are concerned, you can only carry two at a time. Pretty much your pistols and any other weapon that you pick up, whether it be a rocket gun or a grenade launcher and stuff. Now, when you progress to the next stage, you will pretty much keep the weapon that you last picked up. But if you die, of course, you pretty much lose that particular weapon. And you will get stuff like health pickups, one-ups, and temporary invisibility throughout the course of the game. And to me, this game has a dark tone that fits more, that's more consistent with the Terminator franchise than the Robocop franchise, in my opinion. Some of you who played this particular game, whether it's the Super Nintendo version or the Genesis version, may feel that it fits more of the Robocop franchise. Now the graphics and level designs are decent, but the color palette is kind of limited and sort of bland, you know what I'm saying? But it does stand, but it is pretty good on the from overall standard on the Super Nintendo version. The gameplay is okay, you know what I'm saying? The the um the hit detection is pretty decent. Yeah, you can like climb ladders and stuff. But I do like the different weapons you can use, but the jumping is kind of stiff, and the soundtrack it is pretty good. It's like dark and gritty and stuff, and it does fit the game in my opinion, even though the soundtrack from the Terminator franchise and the Robocop franchise are not used in the Super Nintendo version. Could they been in there? I hope they could. I wish they could have used those soundtracks, but in my opinion, they weren't necessary per se because how good the soundtrack that they use is. And the main complaint that I do have is the fact that that a Terminator wasn't like a final boss in the game. It could have been nice to have that because of the fact that the game is called Robocop versus Terminator. I would have expected since the main protagonist is Robocop, the final boss would be a Terminator that you will fight in two different forms. You know, from an overall standpoint, RoboCop versus Terminator is pretty decent. I can honestly say that it is way better than the RoboCop game for NES plus Terminator 2 on NES. You know what I'm saying? It's worth like checking out. You know what I'm saying? And I would recommend this particular game to retro gamers and those who do let's plays and live streams on YouTube and Twitch. You know what I'm saying? As far as the score, I would definitely give it a 7 out of 10. They're because of the flaws are noticeable, but it don't definitely ruin the game. Now with that being said, if you like my review of RoboCop versus Terminator, you can mention it in the comment section. If you like the review, don't hesitate to click the thumbs up button. And don't forget to subscribe. This is your boy, Big Metroid Fan 12, signing off.